So, let me tell you about today.
Yeah. What'd you do today?
I've forgotten. A few weeks ago, we talked about what it was like to be married to someone who communicates easily, openly, and a lot.
Like we like to say, a talker.
Talker.
Yes.
I guess it's my turn. This week we're going to talk about what it's like being married to someone who doesn't
talk as much. Right.
Yeah.
When we first got married, John was not the expert communicator that he is now. Actually, it was painful at times for him to communicate with me. And I remember when we were newlyweds, I decided that I was going to let him lead the conversation when he got home from work. Normally, he'd get home from work and I would be real inquisitive and have lots of questions. And so, one night, I wasn't going to start the conversation. I was going to let John lead the conversation. And this is pretty much how dinner went.
You gonna say something?
Seriously, he actually said,
Well, I think the only thing I could think of was hi.
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 I thought that would start it, right?
And I thought, he really does not know how to start a conversation.
So how old was I when we got married?
31.
31 years old. I was a bachelor. Who was I supposed to be talking to? So I had no idea how to communicate, and that it would be even desirable for someone to hear what I had to think. So
and I think that was the heart of it, is that you just felt like what you had to say wasn't all that important to somebody else.
and I wasn't used to sharing it, so
right. It was very difficult for you to learn how to, even 15 years into our marriage, most of the time when there's a conversation that started, I am the one that's starting it or asking the questions or being inquisitive. I think it is still a challenge for you, but you know how much I appreciate.
I've worked at it, and I have tried to share with her organically, just without being asked. Oh, I think I think she'd like to hear that. I think I'll share that with her. And yeah, you're never disappointed when I start a conversation, are you? Because it's still not something that easily comes from me. But and I think some of the things that have helped me would be just your questions, like, what do you think about that? And so I will think about it and get back to her. I don't, sometimes she would say, what are you thinking right now? And I'm like, I don't know.
Whenever I say, well, what are you thinking right now? He's like, nothing. Or he's like, I'm thinking about this screw on the kitchen sink that I don't know if I fully screwed it in right. And I'm like, what? Like this random thing.
But when you are more like, I'd love to know what you think about that sometime, then it gives me time to formulate my thoughts, and then come back later maybe, or if I'm in the mood right away to say, well, this is what I think about it. But another thing too that's been encouraging and helped developing this in my life is you've never made fun of me or made me feel belittled. So if I bring up a conversation or a topic, it's never a source of, if it doesn't fully develop like maybe you thought it would, I don't ever feel like you're making fun of me or mocking me. So that's helps the open communication.
You trust me enough to know I'm not going to make fun of you or
Right.
be like, what, you think that, or that's stupid, or no, I don't say those things, because I do genuinely love to hear what John's thinking, because I wear my thoughts on the sleeves and he doesn't. Whenever he shares what he's thinking, it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Like he's sharing from his heart and what's going on in his life, and that was always fun. I also think that there's times in our marriage where I will know how you're feeling even before you know how you're feeling. Right?
Yep.
What are you doing?
I'm letting you talk.
Well, like
That's great. Go
like
for
the
it.
other, like we are in a season of life that has some challenges, and I said to you, I think you feel X, Y, and Z based on this stuff, and you were like, I think it took you a couple days, but you're like, yeah, I guess I am feeling that way. You just hadn't articulated those thoughts in your head.
Yep.
So we know that you out there, married couples, chances are you resonate with some aspect of how we communicate. A lot of couples have more of a talker, and I like to call them stuffers. People who don't talk as freely. Stuffing kind of has a negative connotation. You didn't stuff it because you were embarrassed. It was just you didn't have the tools for communication. And so we hope you learn to do the beautiful dance of communication together, whether you're the talker or the quieter one.
Give your spouse something. If you're the quiet one, think about how you can give them part of your thoughts, part of your life, and not make them carry the burden, because it doesn't take much. I mean, usually they start talking real quick again, and you can just kick back.
It's true. Once you get me started, it's hard to stop me. So we hope that you are encouraged to improve communication in your marriage. So the question of the week.
What are your pet peeves?
Every married couple has pet peeves.
You gotta have them.
Everyone does. If you say no, then you haven't been married long enough.
Whose list is bigger is my question, not do we have them.
So drop the comment below. Let us know about the pet peeves in your marriage, and we will be discussing that on next week's episode.
Should be a fun one.
Should be a really fun one.
A lot of material.
Hey now. Moments are what make a marriage.
So go create a communication marriage moment. Like, subscribe.